Welcome to a brand new episode of TVGP's Game Club. This month, we are talking about Chrono Trigger. I'm your host, Boston, played this on the Super NES and the DS, joined as always by Moonpier.
Howdy, I played this on my ally thingy-majig.
And Musum.
Hello, I played this on my Persona Q 3DS XL.
There you go.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I played the Super NES version on my Analog Pocket, and I played the DS version on my 3DS XL, which is sadly not a Persona Q version, though I wish it was. Let's break out all the details here of the game. Released August 22nd-ish, 1995. If you're not aware, we kind of don't know when a lot of games came out in the 90s specifically, largely because street dates were not a thing then, and also it's a little hard to find information about that that can be verified. So came out around August, September of 1995, early April in Japan. Developed and published by Squaresoft. Square in Japan. Came out on the Super NES. Do want to mention here, usually we don't mention a lot of the core development team. The thing that you hear about Chrono Trigger and the thing that you continue to hear about Chrono Trigger is Square's Dream Team. That was one of the writers on the game was Yuji Horii, the dude who made Dragon Quest. Hironobu Sakaguchi, who was the producer of this game, the dude that made Final Fantasy, and then Akira Toriyama, R.I.P., who did the character art, obviously. He's, Dr. Slump, Dragon Ball, everything that you have grown up and reading and watching. So that was like the big selling point and the big marketing push behind Chrono Trigger originally was like, look at the three dudes we got, especially Yuji Horii and Sakaguchi, who were kind of at competing companies at the time. We try to break down what this game is. It is a pixel-based, turn-based JRPG. That's kind of a... if you have seen any video games, you have probably seen a video game that's paying homage to this one. So, if you played Sea of Stars and you thought, boy, I wonder what influenced this, it's this guy. The time travel here, Metacritic and OpenCritic, didn't exist. So we don't have any. We have a lot of reviews of like the DS version or the horrible PlayStation 1 version or the It's Fine PC version, but nothing from kind of the original version here. So I went back and I went through the Video Game History Foundation's scanned library, and I went through and looked at the reviews from back then that they have scanned on the site. So Edge magazine, the haters that we love, issue number 26 from November 1995 rated this at a 7 out of 10, which is very appropriate for Edge. Game Informer issue 28 from August 1995 rates this at a 9.25. This review was oddly right under a review for Lunar Eternal Blue, which was a game I had completely forgotten about. A British magazine, Superplay, rated this in November 1995 a 90%. Nintendo Power, issue 75 from August, rated at a 4.5 out of 5. And then I grabbed a screenshot here of this incredible EGM review from August 1995. It was rated 9.0, 9.5, 9.5, and 9.0. My favorite thing is the last review here, which I'm fairly sure was Sushi X, starts with the most mid-90s line that you could start a review with, which was, Bo may know sports, but Square knows RPGs. Which is like, okay, great. It's 1995, for sure. One thing I did like is I forgot EGM had this like very quick snippet underneath the 4 very short reviews. Best feature, everything. Worst feature, yeah, right. Time to complete, eternity. Also try FF3 and Secret of Mana. I was like, okay, great guess.
Nice.
The 90s, huh?
Yep.
Let's quickly do peers for the release date. Again, I'm kind of pulling stuff from across 1995 because, again, release dates are a little bit squiffy. Descent came out on PC, which, if anyone doesn't remember, that's that first-person spaceship flying 360-degree sort of tunnel thing that was, like, incredibly groundbreaking. Mortal Kombat 3 looks like it came out on arcade and home releases within the same year, best I can tell. Full Throttle, the PC LucasArts point-and-click adventure game that I'm a big fan of. Mech Warrior 2 came out on PC, which is like one of the biggest PC games easily that year. I think everyone kind of remembers the box. I think that was the Mech Warrior box that had the flames on it. The original Command & Conquer for PC. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream also came out on PC. Twisted Metal came out on PS1. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest came out on Super NES, which I believe was the best-selling title of that year in the States. The Dig came out on PC, which I didn't realize that both The Dig and Full Throttle came out in the same year. Moon, you'll love this one. Worms came out on the Amiga.
Yeah.
Team 17's all-time classic game, Worms.
I'm assuming that's OG Worms as well, if it's on the Amiga.
It is, yeah. I think I don't remember if that was the very first original release, but if it's for the Amiga, I'm going to assume it is. I meant to go look it up and I forgot. And last but certainly not least, Warcraft 2 also came out in 1995. Just no big deal. We're gonna ask the question we ask every month: was this game top of the pile, middle of the pack, or overlooked?
I honestly do not know.
So, for me personally, I was a PC snob in the 90s. While I did play some console games, I didn't buy any of the new systems. We were a Sega family. I did not even hear about Chrono Trigger until I was 19 or 20, and I was at a friend's apartment. And that same night, they changed my life by showing me Symphony of the Night and Chrono Trigger.
Oh, the pixels. For me, it was definitely top of the pile because the fervor around stuff like Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 2, the mysterious Final Fantasy 5 that was still, unclear if it was going to get released in the States. I looked back for any mention I could find, the earliest mention I could find from a larger publication in the VGHF library. And the very first one I could find is an EGM2 issue. Remember, everyone, that EGM was putting out 2 issues per month. This EGM2 issue was one of the smaller ones at only like 203 pages. That was the first time they had mentioned it from a here's our guy in Japan. They talked about the Dream Team, and all they knew otherwise was Dream Team, and then it was a Super Famicom RPG. And I feel like ever since then, the fervor was at an all-time pitch. And then I put it in the Discord channel for us, the Game Club channel, of the kind of famous It's About Time ad, the magazine ad from the 90s, which, from what I could tell, is just in every single magazine, the very same ad. So it was everywhere. And their big stuff is like, it has 10 endings, it's 70 hours of gameplay, it's 32 megs, like it's a 32 megabit cartridge, which was huge at the time. And then I didn't realize, last thing before we get into the actual game, other thing I didn't realize is that Chrono Trigger was the best-selling game in Japan in 1995, head and shoulders over anything else, until Enix put out Dragon Quest VI in December, and immediately sold. Chrono Trigger sold 2 million copies in Japan ever since it came out. So in 7 or 8 months, Dragon Quest VI immediately sold 3 million copies before the end of the year, in like 2 or 3 weeks. So the continued battle between Square and Enix at the time was reaching an all-time high, with the two of them fighting it out during the Super Famicom here. Anyways, all of that history out of the way. Let's talk about the game itself. Who wants to go first?
I want to hear what Moon thinks, since he's the
Then,
the one who hasn't
new
played
player.
it yet.
Yeah.
We got to find out if we can still be friends with it. No.
So I didn't beat the game. I will
Okay.
say that right off the top. I think I'm 17 hours into it right now.
Okay.
I have the flying ship thing.
Yeah.
I am literally too weak to go and do the final boss fight right now, and
Okay.
as such, I am trying to do side quests.
Yeah, all
they
the
are.
like optional end game stuff.
Yeah, like the talk to people at the end of time, and talk to people at the end of the time, figure out what their, for lack of a better term, companion quests are.
Okay, I had the same thought playing this time through of like, oh my god, I'm going through each one of these characters in my party and doing their companion quest. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I like didn't even put it together before. I was like, hey, Robo's got to help the forest over time. Wouldn't you know it? I'm like,
Yep.
oh my god, that's Robo's companion quest. Okay, crap.
Mm-hmm.
That is my.
He's also got to go home.
That's right.
Oh yeah. The forest story is my favorite story. Granted, the Luca scene that happens immediately after the forest, a little irritating. Or at least the first. So I didn't get very far this time, but I've beaten the game a whole bunch. And I remember the first time well, okay, are we on spoiler side of this?
Oh,
yet,
for, yeah,
it
came out like
general?
30 years ago. We're good.
Okay. So after you save Robo or Robo repopulates the forest and you go pick him up,
Yep.
It immediately goes to Luca. She goes back in time to when her mom lost her legs.
Right. Which is a scene I didn't know is optional. Apparently you can just not go through that portal, which isn't me, but you can do that.
It's optional, and the controls are not great for it.
Well,
like
if you're not playing on the Super NES, the password is a little confusing. Because the password is her mom's name, which is Laura, and it's just Lara.
Is it keyboard? Is it like button presses, kind of like the future thing?
Yep.
Okay, on the PC version, they give you a keyboard.
Interesting. Okay, it's
not a full
cool.
keyboard. It gives you like, I think it's like maybe 10 keys, but they're all different letters. And obviously Lana is in there,
right?
So you have to type her out.
Interesting. Yeah, because on the Super NES they only had 2 shoulder buttons, so it was Lara for her name. Just like the Zaby password, XABY.
I always thought the spelling stuff was clever, but for whatever reason, that scene just sticks out. Because the first time I played that game, 20 or 30 years ago, whenever that was, I failed because I could not get whatever. I think I was playing on PC. I think I was doing an emulator, so that was probably the issue.
Ditto, yeah. Moon, what was
very upset.
You
at
mentioned
the
Zaby password is different. What is it on the PC? Do you remember?
It's AXBY or AXYB.
Okay.
Because the button layout, the one I use has the Xbox buttons, so it fixes the buttons to what your buttons is. So you're pressing the same button, but it's not spelt the same, despite the fact that you can just flip the button input and have it do the same thing.
Right. That's pretty cool. I was wondering how much they modernized the PC version. I had meant to check out. I completed this game twice, once on Super NES and once on DS. And I had meant to pick up the PC version and check that out for one specific reason. And I just ran out of time, unfortunately.
So, does the original version have the auto battle in there?
No. You just got to hold down A.
Oh.
Yep.
That's a game changer because it not only does it basically hold down A for you, it also increases the speed by like maybe up to 3 times.
Yep. That's only the PC version. And maybe
like all of the spells animations get done 3 times faster. All of that stuff gets done 3 times faster. It's so useful.
I don't remember if the iOS and Android versions of the game had that. I would assume it did, but no other versions except for the PC version had that. So
yeah.
Oh, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so number one, I disagree with your summary in the Discord channel. Go join us on Discord if you haven't and you're listening to this. Super nice Discord. I disagree with the guide having the worst title ever. I think it's a very appropriate title.
So I found a guide that I really love. There's a guide that is from the early 90s that I found originally. I think that guide is a little too interested in pointing you at 100% of the items and like finding every secret and every it's fine. It also still retains all of its humor from the early 90s, which is questionable at best. But there's a really great on the Steam guide section for Chrono Trigger. It's like a walkthrough for people with brain rot. It is one of the best guides I've seen because it's like, go to this era, go to this building, clear out the first floor and the second floor, fight this boss, now you're done. Like, it's just bullet points of like, it still leaves you to discover the dungeon. It still leaves you to figure out the boss fight if there's any tricks. But it's gonna 99% of the problems with Chrono Trigger is, okay, cool, I just finished a cutscene. Where the hell? Where do I go? What time period what am I doing?
This is my biggest problem with the game.
Yep.
And it's something that where we talked about Zelda, having the witch's hut across the board is super useful in Zelda because if you're ever stuck, you go see the witch's hut. The witch tells you where you need to go.
Yep.
The fact that there is like almost zero guidance, like minimal guidance right up until the spoiler happens towards the end of the game, and then there's no guidance basically at all.
I think Chrono Trigger is one of my favorite games of all time. If you ask me on a good day, it is my favorite game of all time. I think one of the biggest weaknesses of Chrono Trigger is that it is so of its era to an extreme where all console JRPGs at the time were very much, okay, I just finished a dungeon, or I just hit a new story point, or I just saw a new cutscene or whatever. You need to go talk to everybody that's in the town that you're in, and one of the random townspeople in the bar will say, you know what I told you. My Mabel was telling me, she was telling me her hairdresser told me that there were some weird snakes over in the west in the chapel. That's weird. And you're like, oh, okay, well, one of the 15 people said there's snakes in the Western Chapel. I guess I go check that out, maybe, and that turns out to be a dungeon.
But it doesn't give you, like, a note to say that this is important.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing that bothers me. It doesn't bold it. It doesn't underline it. There is no quest line. You can get a I don't know if the original did this. You can get a little bit of a hint based on the title of the save file, because it does like chapter titles.
It does, yeah. The original has that too.
On the save file. Yep. There's a little bit of a hint there, but not enough.
And that was the thing, you know, we were talking earlier off recording about PC point-and-click adventure games. Those got so insular about how you solve their puzzles that, like, if you weren't playing all of them, you kind of didn't know. Chrono Trigger is that as well. I think it's almost to an extreme degree of, like, if you weren't playing a ton of JRPGs of the time, Or if you're like you, Moon, where you're playing this game for the first time, even the most modern version, you don't know, you don't have that innate knowledge that you just finish something, go talk to everybody, and then eventually you can talk to the dude at the end of time, to like get a little bit of a hint. But like, that's why I recommend people play this with a guide if they get stuck, because half of the time it's like, all right, good luck, adventurer, and it's like, oh, I have like 6 time periods to go through. Like, where the hell am I supposed to go, man? I don't even know. Now I have a flying, time-traveling ship. I can go literally anywhere. What am I supposed to do, man? So, I agree with you. I think that's I love this game dearly. Even on multiple playthroughs, even playing through this game to completion twice in the same month, the number of times I had to be like, okay, cool. Wait, where am I supposed to go again? Oh, right. Yeah, 2300. Right.
Yeah.
It's rough. Like, the worst part is I think it's very hard to tell a good time travel story.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to tell a good time travel story. I think that this game does such a good job of the time travel, the causality, but also question marks. Like, okay, this happened this time. We find out about this, so we need to go look into this.
Right.
It does a decent job of leading you down the like, the story does a decent job of like looping everything together. It's just sometimes finding out where that next step is so difficult. Like, going back to the castle and having Chrono in your party is a bad idea. But if you change Chrono out your party, you can go wander that castle as much as you want.
Right. And I really like, especially in kind of the back couple of hours of the game, the back like 25%, once the big story point happens, and then the game says, okay, go beat Lavos. I really like that, especially when you have the pendant, you can do stuff of like, well, I'm going to start this quest here in like 12 million BC, travel all the way to 1000 AD. Whoops, something happened. I'm going to go back to 600, do a whole story quest, and like bouncing between multiple time periods to see the effects. That's so good.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of what Musin was saying about the forest quests.
Yep.
Like, that's a prime example of that quest just being spectacularly done with but again, the smallest hints. It's like, if only someone could stay alive for thousands of years and make sure everything lasts.
Right.
Doesn't bold that out for you to say, hey, maybe come back with Robo.
Right.
Robo might be useful here.
Yep.
Just so you know.
And it's so of the era of like, hey, did you read an EGM that you got to bring Chrono with you on this quest? And it's like, okay, cool. You know, like I didn't, but that's one of my favorite ones too, of like leaving Chrono, the super, or Robo, leaving the super tiny sprite of Robo, like tilling the desert, and then, you know, going hundreds and hundreds of years in the future and seeing the completely broken down Robo of like, and you having to fill in that story yourself over like what happened over 400 years to this guy that you were gone for a second, and how much of his story existed between there. It's so good.
Yeah, I think they do a really just kind of, I agree with the point you guys are making, but just to do a kind of tangent on the writing, like, so many of the side things put so much kind of humanity, I think, in the writing. Like, you know, you have near the beginning of the game, you have the build up between the Knight brother and the Chef brother. And then, you know, you go to help him on the bridge, and then the Chef brother begrudgingly helps, and you get this, like, every time they do one of those moments, which is often, which is nearly every time, it's Robo in the forest, it's them, it's I'm not going to pull another example out of the air.
It's the 2,300 people with the Enertron of, like, your HP and MP are restored, but you're still hungry, planting the seed, like, having a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
And it's just, what's really interesting is, and I didn't realize it until I was playing it this time, is that's Dragon Quest. one of Dragon Quest's strengths is this one town. Oh my gosh, this desert town ran out of water. What are we gonna do? Go to the dungeon next to it, solve the dungeon, have the water flow into the city, and then you were like resolve this kind of like bubble story in this thing. That's what Chrono Trigger does really well. You can see Yuji Horí's influence on this of like the 12 million BC, like the humans versus the reptites storyline and like all of that stuff. It's this small part of the game, but there's so much of it kind of continues to build on top of it, even though it's a kind of small experience.
And I still want them to, and I know not everyone agrees with me, but I want them to remake Chrono Trigger like they do the latest Dragon Quests that are on.
Oh, well, like HD 2D.
Like, well, the no, like is it 11 or 12? The ones they did for PS5 and PS4. Like I want to like just taking the artwork from those graphics and then just do the game. Like you don't have to reinvent the gameplay.
Well, you know what's really interesting?
Maybe add a quest system or something.
You know what's really interesting? You mentioning Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 is that they did something really smart with the remakes of those that I think a remake of this, or even like, I'm surprised the PC version doesn't have this, is in those you can turn on and off just a giant star on the map that says, go here next. You don't have to worry about talking to everybody in town, any of that stuff. It's just like, hey, you're playing Dragon Quest 3. This thing came out on the Famicom. It's going to be a little bit of twos. You can turn it off if you want the original experience, but if not, just go over here and this will continue the story. And I wish that part of the modernization of Chrono Trigger had some of that, because I know the PC version has the anime cutscenes, which are all really great. It has the original game, fully kept. Actually, Moon, I meant to ask you, in the PC version, do they have Frog continuing to say thee and thou in the PC version?
They don't. His stuff seems to be slightly more modernized.
Yeah, that was the DS version as well. They sanded that down a little.
Yeah, because I know I was confused when I first got Frog, and I was like, isn't this the Frog who's supposed to speak in old-timey English? Like,
right.
Is this Frog, or is there a different Final Fantasy with a Frog that speaks like that?
Right.
There's little snippets of it here and there, but nothing to really, squawk about kind of thing.
Right.
I think, he's still good, though. Frog is still great.
Frog's great, yeah.
Yeah.
Arguably the hero of the story. I mean, it's right there in his accessory.
Yep.
Arguably the best theme music of all the characters.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. One of my only real complaints about the DS and the PC version, though, is I think for me, one of the most striking parts about firing up the original Super NES version is that black screen with the clock pendulum swinging by and the ticking noise, and just having the Chrono Trigger logo like floating in from the side. And I think future versions with it having that, like, the memory anime cutscene at the beginning takes away a little bit of that kind of mystery of the game. But it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's one of those things of like, that's kind of a bummer. I don't know.
Yeah.
The anime is great, though. Like, the anime cutscenes that are in this game, it's like, oh, yeah, there's the Toriyama right there.
They're really good.
See, and I just want the whole game to look like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the really solid thing that they do, though, in this, is they use those cutscenes to elevate the pixel art. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I do actually think the pixel art here is really, really good.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's like, oh, hey, if your imagination is suffering a little bit and you can't quite picture what this stuff is like, here's Frog cut a hole in a mountain, just so you know.
Yeah, like, that's one of my favorite ones, too, of, like, it's an okay scene in the original, but the anime cutscene is just like, Okay, yeah, he does just like cut the side of a mountain in half with his sword. That's incredibly cool, and you made a cool cutscene out of it.
To be clear, I adore the original pixel art
Yeah,
by
ditto.
all means. I just I've played the game so many times. Like we can let's go down the pixel art complimentary rule. Like I love the Chancellor's like giant eyes and mouth
Yep,
that drops. Like how his whole character turns into that. Like
yep.
you guys talked about, Robo on the world map planting things.
Mm-hmm.
You can even go to the, following the Reptites trail. Well, not necessarily something I'd consider like this is beautiful art, but it communicates well, right?
Right.
Like it's not,
Yes.
especially back then, it's not something you're really used to doing in a game, looking for these footprints in this Super
Yeah.
Nintendo game.
Well, and like in 2300, where you first learn about the Lavos attack from 1999, there's some really interesting kind of like digital noise effects on that, and that's a pretty cool cutscene, and it's a pretty impressive cutscene for the Super NES. When you die to Lavos in any of the Lavos fights, and you get that special cutscene where like this was the end of the world and has the very high quality planet on it. Like there's some they were doing some pretty impressive stuff with very late era Super NES hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course,
I
the
so
soundtrack is an all-timer. That's like
yes.
goes without saying.
As someone who's not a fan of classical music, this is impressively good music.
Yeah. I one of my favorite tracks in this game that I always forget about is the complementary two tracks of the trial, when you get that kind of lighter song, and then the song that follows right after it as Chrono's being taken away to be executed. There's a faster version of that track as well, and I always forget that the two tracks complement each other, and I'm like, man, and I forgot to mention this was Yasunori Matsuda, who did like Xenogears. He's done an incredible amount of specifically Square soundtracks. This is his first game he's worked on. Umatsu did a couple of tracks here, like a handful of tracks, but like this dude came pretty hot out of the gate with an all-time classic soundtrack, and it's still really impressive. And I'm impressed that future versions of the game didn't really mess with it. They just kind of left it alone, and I think that's pretty impressive. Um, Moon, what did you think of the like end of the second act in this game where the main character just dies?
I thought it was kind of hilarious, if I'm
Yeah.
completely honest. I think I wasn't expecting it. Obviously, it's kind of a kick in the teeth where it's just like, whoa, 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 hold on a minute. His name's in the title of the movie, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like,
He's not dead,
what's
right?
going on here then?
Right.
I mean, and then the fact that like it changes your party completely so that your watch color, um, your leader changes and everything like that, and it's like, okay, okay. Don't know what's going on here, but okay.
Yeah.
And arguably that was the only part of the game that felt linear because
Right.
it was very much, hey, you're here, now you're here, now you're here, now you're here. And then you find out at the end of all of these like little sequences, it's like, oh, hey, by the way, there's a potential to bring him back.
Right.
A potential to bring him back.
If someone's so important to the party, we could potentially bring him back. Yeah. And also, you can just not. And you can finish the game without Chrono, and the game will just let you do that. Yeah.
It's very interesting, the fact that it's just something that they do. And I do like the fact that you can bring them back, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Except you gotta do that stupid Simon Says minigame, which is the worst.
The mimic game?
It's still the worst.
Yeah.
I hate it. Every
I
single
wasn't
time.
a big fan of that, especially when I had like 1,000 gold left.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, it was just like, what do I need to do to get this, like, afford this? So I ended up having to go and do a bit of grinding to get some money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Moon, how did what did they vote for you in the trial? Like, did everyone vote not guilty or guilty? Did you take the old man's lunch?
I did not take the old man's lunch. I got not guilty. I think I got
Okay.
2 guilty, and the rest of them were not guilty.
Dang, all right.
Oh, good for your first time.
Yeah.
The one that killed me that I was trying to figure out how to fix was the girl with the kitten. I spent so long trying to figure out how to get that kitten back to that girl, and
It's
it's
a
just
pain.
like, yeah, I give up.
Yeah, that one, it's very much like a pathing issue of the 90s of like, just follow me. It's easy. Just walk where I'm walking. And it will not.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you recruit Magus or did you kill him?
Recruited.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it was because it was after meeting Giannis.
Yep.
And then I was like, this guy's got the same hair as the kid, so I'm very
Right.
curious if this is the kid, and it turns out it was the kid.
Yep. Yeah.
I was surprised the angry old guy is the angry kid.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
That was such a cool. I just love that whole situation in general, and I love that you can go both paths and get a slightly different ending video depending on which one you do.
Right.
I think that's one of the ending variations.
I forgot how many different ending variations there are as well. Because, like, the famous one is once you start New Game Plus, when you go to the Millennial Fair at the beginning, you're supposed to go in the left portal for Luca's experiment. You can go in the right one, and you can just go fight Lavos, like, literally within the first 10 minutes of the game. But I forgot how many variations there are of, like, going straight to 1999 by flying, the bucket in the End of Time. You can go through the Black Omen, which is my preferred method of fighting Lavos, especially if you're looking to gain some levels. Black Omen is, like, fairly long, but incredibly experience rich. And there's just so much. There's go.
Charm needs to be noted out as, hey, if you're playing this, use Charm.
Okay, so
please.
That was one of the notes I left for myself this time. Is I never play with Isla. There's some periods where you want to have her in the party, just because her and Chrono, especially with like Falcon Kick or whatever it's called, does an incredible amount of damage. I had never really played with Charm before, which, if anyone listening hasn't played it, it's just Steel from like every other RPG in history. It works way more often than it should, and it steals stuff that is just like, oh, here you go. It's a sword for Chrono that's like leagues above what you have equipped right now, and it came from just like a regular slime. I was like, oh, dang, okay, yeah, great, sure. So I was very impressed by how wildly strong Charm was.
There's so many unique items too that like you can just randomly get, like the Ozzy doing his castle. Him and the 2 henchmen have items that you can steal.
Ozzy, Flea, and Slash.
Yes, they have a unique sword, a unique hat, and something else is unique too. Might be an armor,
pants,
maybe.
I think it was.
Yes, that's the unique hat, ironically enough.
Oh, that's right. I forgot, because it's like a very Toriyama thing to have the pants on the hat. On
yes.
the head. Yeah.
The really funny thing about it is they what you call it. The hat confuses you.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
You just it's like attack or defense something. Does question mark, and then you put it on. It's like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna be confused this entire fight.
Yep. Oh, it's really good. I also forgot about Ozzy, Slash, and Flea, of like the singer, the guitar player, and the bassist all being those. It's very much like Final Fantasy. I think Final Fantasy VI was the first one to have it, of Biggs and Wedge from Star Wars as kind of recurring characters. It's
Wags and Biggs are in there, but Wags and Biggs are in this too.
Wait, are they? Where are they? Oh, wait.
They are in the place where you have to do the mimic dance. If you
Yeah.
go there before you have to do the mimic dance, Wedge and Biggs are two of the people, and you have to. It's like Wedge, Biggs, and somebody else, and then once they've all shifted around,
That's
it'll
right.
tell you who you have to find.
That's right. Ted Woolsey translated all of these games for Square, and he loved putting all of that stuff in all of these games. So, um, I'm trying to think of what else we haven't covered yet. I do know that the DS and the PC versions have an additional ending that more directly connects Chrono Trigger to Chrono Cross in a way that I won't spoil Chrono Cross. And I always thought that was really interesting. That ending is pretty good. But I don't know. Moon, do you have any? What are your final thoughts here on Chrono Trigger to kind of wrap this whole thing up?
Well, obviously, I played the more modern version, so
Right.
it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not sure how much has been tweaked with regards to the need to grind, the money situation. Like, I don't know if those numbers have been tweaked and changed at all to make it more palatable for a
Right.
modern day experience. But like, this is a phenomenal game. I don't think it's a perfect game, not by any stretch of the
Sure.
imagination, but it is the quintessential turn-based RPG. Like, if you're gonna look at a turn-based RPG and try and take inspiration from it, this is the one.
Yeah.
Like, easily this is the one. That's why we've already been playing this for a while, so when we saw that thing at the indie showcase or the day of the devs, and it was like, oh hey, this is inspired by Chrono Trigger, that got my attention. And it
Right.
was like, oh, okay. Oh, and you just look like you've just got a 3D version of the world map from Chrono Trigger. Okay, let's go.
While we're
Yeah.
talking, I'm gonna pull that up and see if I can remember what that game is.
I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's one of those things where, like, I think the story is phenomenal. Like, the writing is beautifully done, like Musim was saying earlier. Like, the little touches to it that make all of the difference. Um, I don't know. It's a phenomenal game. It genuinely is. And yeah, like you said, the spoiler, like near the end of the game, and it's just like, hey, this guy's dead now. What are you gonna
That's right. The
do?
main character you've been playing with for 15 hours. We killed him.
Yes.
The game
Yeah.
we're talking about is Threads of Time. Does not have a
Yes.
release date at the moment when we were recording, but Threads of
Looks
Time.
so good, but
Yeah.
I gotta bring my expect. I don't know. Hopefully that one will be good. They had that other game that looked really good that has reviewed incredibly poorly,
Yeah.
but the other one I think was more of a Xenogears.
Right. Musim, what are
Well,
your final thoughts on Chrono Trigger? Forever.
um, I feel like forever. I feel like I'm just gonna repeat things you said, Boston. Honestly,
Yeah.
like, this is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's crazy because I didn't play it till I was 20 or 21, somewhere in there.
Hmm.
Um, and I
Listen,
had a
man,
lot of favorite.
I got double those years the first
I,
time I played it, so
Hmm.
don't feel too
yeah,
bad.
yeah. I think it's less feeling bad and more just saying like a lot of the time. I feel like a lot of favorites games of all time tend to happen in your more formative years. And well, I guess
Right.
arguably 18 to 21 is a formative period. Like I would have expected it to have been in high school or something, like pick a Final Fantasy or Xenogears or pick a modern game. But this game tugs at my heartstrings in a way that most games just don't,
Right.
like I'm not gonna well, I don't think I'm going to ugly cry on Chrono Trigger. I could be wrong. I only
Right.
got this time. I really regretted it. I meant to actually play through. I should have. I was doing a new game plus, but I only made it to 65 million BC, so I didn't get
Hmm.
very far. Um, so maybe there are some points where I might ugly cry, but this is a game I love to such an extent that The artist who has done 2 of my 3 tattoos posted a frog tattoo he did on someone that got me thinking, man, maybe I need some Chrono Trigger tattoos. Like,
Right.
as we are doing this podcast, I have been like looking for the freaking. Can I still find a copy of the Symphony of Zeal vinyl
Oh,
that
right.
they did?
Right.
The answer is no. Uh,
Right.
but Square does have a box set for the Chrono Trigger thing, but it's like $200.
Oof.
Um, like I love this game so much, and I think anyone who likes any degree of RPG and who likes pixel art, I feel like can go back to it and still find things to love here.
Right.
Um,
Maybe just follow the brain rot guide, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
Yeah.
it's an old game, but I also feel like it needs less excuses than most old games do.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is way more playable than you think it is. And yeah, you could
Yep.
get irritated about like kind of the quantity of fights in it and how hard Lavos is and things like that. But gosh, I love this game. It just has some of the best characters of all time.
Yeah.
And I will play any version they release. Anyway, I'll stop.
Yeah. Except for the PlayStation 1 version, because every time you get into a fight, it has like a 2 to 4 second load time, which is just the worst. It's still, all of those Square like re-releases on the PS1 are all terrible. It's the worst.
I will agree and also inform you I own it and will never sell it.
Yeah, ditto. 100%. Yeah, like I said before, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I will still say, if you ask me on the right day, it might be my favorite game of all time. I think I forgot how revolutionary it was at the time as well, especially following something like Final Fantasy VI, which was really Squaresoft's kind of biggest release before then. There aren't random battles in this game. You're running into enemies on the field.
That was a huge shock to me.
Yeah, and it doesn't do like a swoosh, like pixel effect, and it goes on to another place. You're just fighting the enemies on the field where you're walking around, and you finish the fight, everyone puts their weapons away, and you just keep going. Like, that was, and to some extent, still is fairly unique to this game. And we were talking about this on last month's episode of Pup, that I haven't necessarily felt a drive towards any RPGs lately whatsoever. And there has been kind of a desire from me to find the right RPG, but a lot of the RPGs that I have to play, not that I have to play, that I have kind of in my backlog, are these big, sprawling 70 to 100 plus hour RPGs, and that's not what I want right now. I wanted Chrono Trigger, the 20-hour JRPG, and we still don't get enough of these like tightly written, to the point, not super bloated 20 to 30 hour RPG. And I think that's such a market that still has a need of like, yeah, I can recommend Shin Megami Tensei 5 to you. It's going to be 100 hours. I can recommend Persona 5 Royal to you. It's going to be 150 hours. Like, that is very appealing.
P3P is an amazing game. P3P is genuinely one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
Yeah.
That is a 100-hour game.
Yep. And, like, I will wholeheartedly recommend all of those games with the caveat of they're incredibly long. But I think we still don't get enough of the games like this, where it's like, here's a really great RPG, and it's 20 hours. And there are 9 other endings after you get your first one, and New Game Plus gets stronger every single time. So, like, it's flying through the rest of the endings, which is a more common thing now, but was also very revolutionary in this. But, like, we just don't get enough of these, and I think playing through this again was just like, man, I wish we got more 20-hour RPGs, and I think I would be playing a lot more of them if that was the case.
Yeah.
Also, we forgot to talk about another revolutionary thing, which was the like 2 and 3 party member techs, where your party members are combining abilities and powers.
I haven't had a 3-person yet. I haven't unlocked any of those yet. I don't know why.
Some of them you'll get like items in like
I got a ring for mages, and it was like, yeah, it unlocks this 3-person tech. Like, I don't know who the hell that was.
Yeah, I always have to look those up. But like those were incredibly cool too, where it's like I'm just, we have the mage casting fire all the time. It's like, yeah, what if she casted fire on Chrono's sword and then he cut them with a fire sword? And it's like, yeah, that's still cool. That's still so. I love Chrono Trigger. I think it's, as we talked about before, it's definitely not a perfect game. It of course definitely has all of the issues that we have talked about throughout this, but there's just something about it that I love it, and I will probably not stop loving it even after playing it again, being like, yep, this game's still great.
It's one of the GOATs for a reason.
Yeah, 100%. Even still playing through it again, being like, man, is it one of my favorites because I played it too much on Z-SNES on my parents' PC in like 1999? No, it's still a really great game, which I'm very pleased about personally. All right, let's talk about our next month's game here. We're going to be playing Phantasmagoria, which was originally released on PC in, I think it was 1996, we said earlier. That is, look, we're just going to say, just buy it on GOG. It's a couple of bucks right now. Time of recording, it's less than $7. It's less than $10 normally. So, like, just go play it there. You know it's going to work. You know it's going to be the right version. That's the best part about GOG. So we'll be playing that for the next month. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all then. Bye.
Bye.